What's the best thing about an Instant Pot? It's pulling dinner right out of it, and I have got a complete dinner out of an Instant Pot on Cooking with Bruce and Mark. Hi, I'm Mark Scarbrough, and this is the YouTube channel Cooking with Bruce and Mark. And you may know, Bruce and I have written 500 Instant Pot books, and this is a recipe from our latest published book, Instant Pot by the Next Generation. And this is a recipe to make an entire dinner in a pot. That is the best thing about an Instant Pot, right? Is when you open the lid and there's dinner, and you don't really have to do anything more to it. So what I'm making is I'm making a teriyaki marinated pork tenderloin and ginger rice to go with it. Yeah, you could serve some salad on the side, but honestly, we've eaten this just for dinner as it stands. I'm going to start with a half a cup or 120 milliliters of soy sauce, and I'm going to get that in the pot. Yes, you can use reduced sodium soy sauce for this. I'm using the real thing, but you can use reduced sodium, of course. And the same amount, a half a cup or 120 milliliters of apple juice. And make sure the apple juice is unsweetened apple juice and that it's not apple cider. To this, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons or about 40 grams of honey. You want a really good flavorful honey. You know, honey's a lot more than just wildflower honey. This is a really nice local honey we buy from a farm up in New England where we live. It has super aromatic flavors about it. And you want to stir this in a bit because that honey, it has a tendency to stick and scorch on the bottom of the pot. You don't have to get it completely dissolved, but you do want to make sure that you stir it in. And my honey was cold. It's cold where we're recording. And my honey was cold, so it's going to take me a little bit of whisking to get this in, just until it's all mixed up. While I'm still doing this, I'm going to add other ingredients. So I'm adding 1 minced garlic clove. That's about a teaspoon. If you're buying purchased garlic, minced garlic, that's about a teaspoon of minced garlic. And on top of that, I'm going to add a tablespoon or 15 grams of minced peeled fresh ginger. Fresh ginger. Oh my God, it's so perfect. And also, just to make this as aromatic as possible, 2 medium scallions cut up right in there. That's basically homemade teriyaki. I've kind of made a homemade teriyaki-like sauce for my pork tenderloins. And what I want is a 1.5 pound or about 700 grams of pork tenderloin. It's going to be rather large, and cut it in half widthwise. And these pieces go down into this sauce, this teriyaki sauce mixture. You're probably thinking, how is this dinner? This is still not dinner. It's just 2 pieces of meat in a soy honey sauce in a pot. Here's how it's dinner. I'm going to take 1 quart 6-inch high-sided baking dish, pressure and food safe, of course. Put this right on top of those pork tenderloins sitting in there. What I want to add to this is I'm going to add a cup or 180 grams of long grain white rice. Don't get fancy here. This is just supermarket white rice, just long grain standard white rice. And to that, I'm going to add a 1.5 cups or about 575 milliliters of water. So put that in there, and then I want to spice this up. And how I'm going to do that is a teaspoon of ground dried ginger and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to put that in there. That's going to make really gingery rice. If you don't want quite so much ginger in there, you can cut it down to 1/2 teaspoon of ground dried ginger. That's fine too. Look, now I've got my rice sitting, so it's a pot in pot on top of a pork tenderloin ready to go in the Instant Pot. I'm going to grab my lid over here and get the lid on the pot, and then I'll tell you what to do. So, you know, every Instant Pot, if you know anything about Instant Pots, how you run them, how you work them are different from models, from Duos to Lux. I'm working with a Max machine. It just depends on what you're working with. Make sure you know your pot from the instruction manual, which you can find either with it, that came with it, or online. But I'm going to take this Max, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pressure cook for 4 minutes. It's already set for 4 minutes on mine. I'm going to turn the keep warm setting off because we're going to do a natural release, so I don't want anything interfering with that. And after all that's done, I'm going to press start. So it's going to come to pressure, 4 minutes at high pressure. This is not at max pressure for the max models. This is at high pressure, so high in any model. 4 minutes. Then when it's done, I'm going to give it a 10-minute natural release, which means I turn the pot off, and at the end of that, do a quick release to remove the residual steam in the pot. Before we come back and see how the dish turned out, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and comment, like, do the stuff below. It's right down. The recipe's below me. Pull down the menu. You can see the whole recipe. Comment, like, subscribe. We'd love to have you back on this channel, Cooking with Bruce and Mark. And mostly, we love to interact with you and get talking about cooking on this channel. If you want to hear Bruce and me together, check out our podcast, Cooking with Bruce and Mark, wherever you get podcasts. And now we're going to vent the residual pressure. Some people are really afraid of venting the pressure in their Instant Pots. If you are, then I really recommend you get a Max. The Max model, you vent it by touching the touchpad, not by touching anything on the machine itself. So I'm going to vent the residual pressure in it. Okay, that's it. And there it is. Look at this. I have got fluffy, beautiful rice. I got my pork tenderloins down there. I'm going to dig them out and show you what it looks like all served. So that's it. You can, in fact, boil down the sauce in the pot more and make it thicker. You can take everything out, the pork tenderloins out, the rice in the bowl out, and then boil that sauce down on the saute setting for a few minutes. You don't have to. I did not, and you don't have to. So really, that's it. All you have to do is serve it up. You carve your pork tenderloin. Pork tenderloin with porky goodness. Look at that. Beautifully cooked. Nicely done. I think that it has to be dipped in the sauce, right? Porky, sweet, salty goodness. Gingery. A little rice. Look at how good this rice is. Yum. Really good. And it's an entire dinner in a pot. What could be bad? Come back next time to get a lot more up on Cooking with Bruce and Mark.